And a frightening end to a tense, hours-long SWAT standoff in Las Cruces. Officers ultimately killing an 81-year-old man they described as suicidal.
New Mexico Mobile Newsroom reporter Kate Beery spoke with a neighbor who made the difficult 911 call in an attempt to save his friend's life. It's a story you'll see only on ABC 7.
A normally quiet Las Cruces neighborhood disrupted by this violent altercation. One man shares his fearful 911 call, telling the operator his neighbor's life might be in danger.
He was probably one of the most loving, kind men that I've ever met. He was always there and willing to help.
James Davidson describes that 81-year-old man as so much more than a neighbor.
I was the closest thing to family he had here.
He said he had monthly dinners with a man he calls Mike. Mike would give him rides. James even gave the elderly man a two-way radio.
All I had to do was pick up a radio and say, hey, I need your help. And I would be right there for him.
He said he would stop by every day before work to check on his friend Mike in apartment 2. But on Monday, he said his neighbor sounded suicidal.
When he called out my name, I went up to his door and he had his gun sitting on his table and he pointed to it and he told me he was ready to go.
James said Mike took out his life savings to change banks, but lost the cashier's check and then began talking about death.
I tried to reassure him that that shouldn't be an option, that it's something we could fix. Oh, I even told him, I'm dying you as your friend and somebody who loves you, please give me your gun. And he just continued to yell at me to go away. So I told him, okay, Mr. Mike, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to call the police. They came in, they knocked on everybody's door.
His security camera recorded SWAT officers asking neighbors to evacuate, and James recorded the 911 call.
I walked by my neighbor's house on my way to work, and he called me over. He has a gun, and he's threatening to kill himself, and I need a cop here now.
Police say the elderly man shot at officers as soon as they arrived. They attempted to communicate with the 81-year-old man, but to no avail. 2 hours later, police say he walked out, fired at officers, striking at least one police car. 3 officers returned fire and killed him, according to the department. I'm standing underneath 2 holes in this window screen that are clearly marked. You can also see broken glass. And if we walk over to the doorway, you can see a hole in the wall, as well as a few holes in the screen door and a few holes in the door itself that are also marked.
I kept telling him he needed help, that he needed somebody to talk to him, and he needed to go to a mental hospital, and they shot him.
I mean, he's a good guy. He never troubled anybody.
Tim Boyne said he didn't consider his neighbor a threat until he fired at officers.
If he walked out that door with a gun in his hand, shooting at him, there's not much you can say. They have a job to protect the other people. That poor cop. I feel bad for the cop, too.
They could have used any non-life-threatening means. He was an 81-year-old man. How hard is it to get an 81-year-old man to not be a threat to you? Yes, I wanted them to help him. I didn't want them to shoot him.
The officer-involved incident task force continues to investigate this deadly shooting. And of course, we will let you know the updates on air and online at KVIA.com. Reporting from Las Cruces with our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom, Kate Beery, ABC 7.